Hi everyone and welcome to this, my video on constant rates of change. My name's Darren from Maffs Guru. Yes, that was hilarious in 2013 when I tried to spell it and be funny. Not so much now. And this is my video on constant rates of change, part of the differentiation series for Mathematical Methods Units 1 and 2. Now, if you're not doing that, don't worry about it. It is literally universal maths. It's all over the world. It's just I'm very lucky that Cambridge University Press have allowed me to use their examples and map my content against their textbook. So thank you very much to Cambridge. Now behind me you can see our learning objectives, and this video is going to be really short. It's not that it's not important, because it leads into the learning that is, or sort of foundations, the learning of the stuff we're going to come on to a little bit later on. But what are we going to do? Understand what a rate of change means and understand what a constant rate of change means. Now, actually, this first one here I've already pretty much dealt with in the previous video. Where can you find it? Of course, mathsguru.com. Absolutely free to sign up. And there are videos and downloadable lesson notes. And for general maths at the moment, there are summary notes and so much on there. VCEE questions. Anyway, it's pretty good if I do say so myself. So we get on with it? Yes, we shall. Now, in that previous video, I looked at what a rate of change is, or more importantly, when we change, what is it, the rate that y changes with respect to the rate that x changes. And ultimately, all of that stuff came down to one thing, and that was a gradient. And we realized that actually there are some important points on graphs with the gradients. Yes, and a gradient in this situation is taken to a point on that curve. Now, for straight lines, it's really easy to find the gradient. Yes, why? Because we can use gradient equals rise over run, or maybe this y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, whichever floats your boat, whichever makes life easier. When you have a curve, life becomes a little bit more complicated because you're trying to find the gradient at a point. And the best way to do that is you draw a tangent to that point. Now, at the top of graphs, and in fact at the bottoms of graphs, these maximums and minimums, it's actually really easy to draw a tangent. And what we find out, as I said in my previous video, is that the gradient there is 0, and in fact the gradient there is also 0. And we like that. We're going to use that later on when we get to calculus and differentiation to help us find the exact values of these maximum and minimums. There are other points that are actually really helpful, and this one here, roughly speaking, is also really helpful because that's where we believe there is going to be a maximum rate of change. And again, that type of stuff we come back to a little bit later on. So, realistically speaking, what do we need to know? Well, we've got a point here. Can we draw a tangent to that? Can we draw a straight line so that it just touches in one place? And ultimately, if I needed to, could I use geometrical methods to find the gradient of said tangent? Sounds weird, really, doesn't it? Because am I going to be drawing straight lines against all of these curves? Well, again, no, we're going to get to a subject area that makes life a lot easier. But for the moment, for this video, we are going to deal with constant rate of change. Now, if you can do me a massive favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel, it really does mean the world to me. Very few people watch maths content. A lot of people say, you're the GOAT and whatever else. If that was genuinely true, I'm fairly sure my viewership would be a little bit higher. So thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Click that subscribe button. Turn off notifications if you never want to hear from me again. Okay, it's a little upsetting, but I get it. But that click does let me know that someone's actually watched this video. Constant rate of change. Now, when rates of change are constant, what it means is that we can basically draw, he says, hoping that's going to go straight. Yep, a straight line. And constant rate of change basically means that my gradient is constant. It is basically going to be some form of a straight line. And we met bits of this in the previous video, yes? But to find the equation of a straight line, what do I need? Y is equal to mx plus c. And again, a word of warning. Now, the only reason we have that y and x there is because that's actually traditionally what we label our axes. Yeah, they're normally labeled y and x. And the trick to this is that lots of people get very tricked, I suppose is the word, because when this isn't a y and an x, for example, let's have h and t, people get so tricked into getting this wrong that they actually write y equals mx plus c rather than sort of h equals mt plus c. For example, all right, so first things first, be very careful there. But I suppose what's really the take home from all of this is this. How do we find the gradient of a straight line? What do we need? Well, the very minimum we need is actually 2 points, right? If we have 2 points on a straight line, we can find the gradient. See where this is going? A little bit later on, hopefully, all right? So just remember the equation of a straight line, y equals mx plus c. Now, there are only 2 questions. Question number 1, a car travels from Kopahunga to Charlie Gum. If these are real places, please let me know in a comment below. That sounds amazing. Which is the distance of 150 kilometers in 2 hours, 120 minutes. Random. Assuming a car travels at constant speed, draw a distance time graph and calculate the speed. All right, distance time graphs are amazing because quite literally we're going to draw a vertical line there and we're going to draw a horizontal line there. That is going to be my t and that is going to be my distance. Why? Well, time doesn't change, or sorry, time we can't change, distance changes as a result. And this question has actually just given you 2 coordinates. So if it were me now, I would be doing, well, let's say that was 150 and then that one there is 2 hours. And I'm going to do a little kiss there or a dot or whatever else. And I'm going to connect those 2 points together. And lo and behold, we are done. Yes, and that there is my distance time graph. It says calculate the speed. Well, you've been doing this sort of in science, I would hope, or what have you. We know that speed is equal to distance divided by time. Hold on a moment. My distance is what's on my y-axis, and my time is what's on my x-axis. That's otherwise known as my rise divided by my run, OMG. Just by looking at this, we now know that actually our speed is nothing more than the gradient of that line. How do you find the gradient of the line? Well, we could do 2 points, but actually we've got 2 points. And the nice thing here is it goes through the origin, and in which case I now know that my speed becomes equal to 150 divided by 2, which is 75. Now, you can't just put 75 because you've got to put units. And we know that our distance was in kilometers. And in this situation, we're going to have time in hours. So I could have kilometers per hour. Ka-ching, ridiculously simple question. And you're probably turning around going, is this really methods? The gradient stuff, really, really important. Here we go. 3 cars are driven over a 2-kilometer straight track. They're all to go from point A to point B. Each car travels with constant speed. It is not a race, as the speed of car Y is twice that of car X. Okay, the speed of car Z is half that of car X. Okay, illustrate the situation with the distance time graph. Let's do that. Assume the car X travels at 1 kilometer per minute. All right, let's draw a straight line here. If you would be so kind, and a straight line here. There we go, and there we go. So what do we want? Distance time, so let's call that distance in kilometers, and we'll do time here in, what have we got here? Kilometers per minute, so this has got to be minutes. Right, car X, they all go from point A to point B, 2 kilometers. All right, so here's 2 kilometers, and we've got car X is going at 1 kilometer per minute. Well, in which case that will take 2 minutes to get there. So let's do 1, 2, and there we go. There is 2 minutes to get there. That is my first point. Let's join those 2 together. So moving on, what do we got next? The speed of car Y is twice that of car X. So car Y is going to go at 2 kilometers per minute, which would suggest that 2 kilometers traveled, 2 kilometers per minute, is going to take 1 minute. So there we go. I'm going to do a little kiss there at 1 minute. And I'm going to draw a straight line between the 2. And that is now my car Y. So let's put Y there. Let's put X there. And the speed of car Z is half that of X, so half a kilometer a minute, which would suggest that that is actually going to take 4 minutes, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 4. My scale doesn't necessarily work because we've got all that white space now, that empty space, but that's okay. Let's draw it in red. No, we've already had red. So we do blue. So in this situation, 4 minutes to go. Join those 2 together. And we have Z, and there we go. Whew, illustrate the situation with the distance time graph. There we go. As far as I'm concerned, that's done. Now, the Cambridge textbook then goes on to work out the average speed. It doesn't actually say here to work out the average speed or to work out the speed of each of the cars. You could do if you want to. One of the things I noticed with the Cambridge book, though, interestingly, is they've actually made that in seconds. There is nothing in that book that suggests you would need to convert from kilometers per minute into kilometers per second or what have you. And so if I was marking this, I'd be happy to give that a mark. And as I say, that was a ridiculously short lesson. Would you agree? I agree too. All right. So did we understand what a rate of change means? Yes, Why? Because it was in the previous video and we sort of mentioned it here. That's really just a change of one thing with respect to another. Understand what a constant rate of change means. Yeah, it's just a straight line. And yeah, believe it or not, that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you found it useful. It's very short, and even I'm not sure I found it useful, but it does lead into bigger things, particularly that gradient stuff. If you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be amazing. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you in another video, and if not, just take care, and please stay safe. Bye-bye.